Investors choose actively managed funds in the hope that they will beat the market. The problem is that in the long term, very few active funds actually do so. S&P Dow Jones Indices has tracked active fund performance in the US for more than 20 years.
Over the past 2 decades, it's been rather hard to beat the benchmark, specifically and especially in large cap equities, and especially US large cap equities. A grand total of 95% of US large cap actively managed equity funds underperform the S&P 500.
The US stock market is the most heavily researched market in the world. It's sometimes suggested that lesser researched markets, emerging markets for example, offer better opportunities for active investors. But is it true?
I hear on many occasions that emerging markets, because they are less well resourced, less well covered by analysts, more opportunity to add insight. I often hear that one would expect to see a better outperformance rate from active managers in emerging markets. In fact, the opposite is the case. Our data suggests that emerging markets is one of the hardest markets to outperform the benchmark.
One of the reasons why S&P's research can be trusted is that unlike other studies, it takes into account survivorship bias. Never mind outperforming, most actively managed funds find it a struggle simply to survive.
If you have an actively managed fund, hypothetical one, and if it doesn't do very well, if it's sort of underperforming the benchmark and underperforms again the next year and again the next year, what tends to happen is that it's not a very popular strategy. So it tends not to attract many assets. And what very often happens to underperforming funds is they are either liquidated by the fund provider or they're merged into another fund. That means that the funds we're looking at that are alive today have a bias in them. They're the ones, not always, but typically they're the ones that outperform.
Of course, it is still possible that you will manage to pick one of the very few funds that will outperform in the long run, but the odds are heavily stacked against you.